The nature of an animation is affected by the number of frames inserted between each main action, as this character takes 18 frames to complete its run cycle. So, as an animator, you have to control the timing of your animation and then decide how many frames your animation takes and how quickly you show that frames. Which means if you want a fast movement, it requires a less frames, and if you want a slow movement, it requires a more frames. Let's take an example. A ball bounces along a surface, and where it hits the ground is what we call the timing. So where the ball is hitting, the impact of where the ball is hitting is what we call the timing. That is the action or dream where it happens is what we call the timing. So the ball overlaps itself when it is at the slow part of its arc, and when it drops past, its speed passes apart. That is what we call spacing. In this part, we will talk about spacing. So spacing can be defined as a distance or speed drawn by a given point between two frames. Or we can say spacing is the variation of a speed during the movement. Let's have another example. If I want to animate this cycle moving from one side to the other side, I will draw a cycle, then frame it, and then I'll move it a little. I'll draw another cycle, then I will frame it, and then I'll keep on going until I get to the other side. Now when I'm done with the drawing, I'll then play it back and see how does my motion feels. Now that I have played, I can clearly say my motion doesn't feel quite okay. So below is the exact spacing that I have been given. There are frames that are far away from each other, and there are frames that are close to each other. Simply because I'm not deliberate about how much space I have been given while drawing. I think we can make the cycle more smoother by spacing it out evenly so that there won't be any jittery or jumpy in the animation. We can now see it clearly that the cycle is moving consistently across the screen. There is no more jittery or jumpy in the animation. Let's see what happens if we move it across the screen in less time. We can clearly see two little things here. The cycle moves faster and the spacing is even larger than before. Let's exaggerate it and see how much timing and spacing makes great impact on the animation. We can all see it now feels more cartoonish. We can see how the timing and spacing change our motion and how it does have an impact on our animation. Let us look them all back and see how does the timing and spacing change our animation. So these are the first ideas that I want to show you today. We will summarize the timing and spacing in animation. Let's say a ball bounces along from point A to B and it takes 11 frames to hit the point B. This movement is generated by the gravity that pushed the ball on the ground. As it gets closer, it accelerates due to decrease in air resistance. We will have more frames on point A and less frames going to point B. After the contact, we will have the reverse of the acceleration so that the ball will be bouncing. One may ask himself, how do I apply timing and spacing in my animation? To apply timing and animation, you have to consider the following things. How does the object feels? Is it light or is it heavy? What is it made of? Is it large or small? So, is the object moving fast or slow? What is the character emotions? What is the character attitude? And the type of action you are repeating. What are the character design, such as weight and age? On our next series, we will talk about squash and stretch, then anticipation. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, comment below, and stay tuned.